right. Stage 1 of the 2023 Breck Epic. How did the stage look today?
So today was 36 miles-ish and change stage with, based on their stats, 58-60 vertical gain. And it was challenging for sure.
How long did it take you?
It took me 3 hours and 35 minutes. And let me tell you, the miles, and like when you look at the miles or elevation gain, it doesn't really tell the story. You know, we are based in 9,600 feet. That's the minimum elevation that we are based at, and we will go over 12,000 in some stages. Today it was only over 11,000 and change in the highest point. But so yeah, it's thin and everything feels so much harder. It feels like the legs are just not there. But yeah, I think for the first day actually it went pretty well. The climbs are real. It's a lot of very difficult climbs with rough terrain, and I had to get off the bike I think twice and push the bike just because it was not rideable, and also with people around, and like sometimes we were on a super steep climb with a bunch of rocks and just holes and rough terrain, and like you want to pedal, which means that you have to expend a lot of power and energy. And then there are guys who just, it's almost like a truck stand, because you have to, like there's somebody in front of you just kind of like, you pedal, you don't, you pedal, you don't, and just kind of balancing. So it was difficult on its own, but later on it kind of spread out more, and it was more rideable and just very challenging. The climbs are hard and the descents are even harder, because it's just, you are standing, suspending yourself, try to maneuver the bike, so putting a lot of load. So my back actually hurt a lot going downhill, and there are guys here who just blast those downhills, like they were just going by me like I was standing still. But the goal for me today was to just kind of ease into it, see how it is, don't take any extra risk, don't crash, and don't have any mechanicals.
What was the hardest part of today's stage?
I think the main two climbs, they were just, or three actually, they were just extremely difficult, you know, and it's just, it's hard to put into the words how difficult it is, you know, like, you know how difficult it is to climb big climbs when you're on the road and the pavement is smooth. And here you are, you know, the terrain here is very different than what we have at home. It's like the topsoil is really dry, and on the top of that there's a whole bunch of like rough rocks, like all kinds of sizes, like a big sharp ones, small ones, and everything is moving underneath the wheel, so there's not much traction. So that makes it a lot more difficult. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to pinpoint what was the hardest. It's just at any point of the race, like, oh my gosh, this is so hard, this is hard. And even the descent was like, I cannot wait for this descent to be over, because I'm just hurting so much. My back hurts, my hand hurts. I just need a little break.
What was your favorite part of today's stage?
Finishing it, knowing that it's done.
And where did you finish?
I finished at the park. It was a dog park right next to it. There were so many cute doggies there, and so that was the highlight.
How did you fuel today?
Probably didn't do the best job, because it's hard to drink and eat when in altitude, trying to gasping for air and have to work hard. So I had my USV hydration pack with, I just put that smaller bladder in, which is 1.5 liter, so basically 2 of the Trimani bottles in it, and then I have another Trimani bottle in the cage, which I didn't even touch, and I almost finished that backpack.
What did you have in the backpack?
In the backpack was the Morten 320, and I almost finished it, but not quite. And then I ate few chews from the fast food, which I really like. I have to kind of force myself to do it. And then I had one Morten gel.
And how do you feel overall? How's your fatigue or soreness today?
Well, I know it's going to get much harder and much worse, so I don't want to complain too much, but I'm pretty spent. And when I finish, so my kind of like a goal, which I don't know if I will be able to stick to it or not, is after every stage do 20 to 30 minute break run, or run. So I did that today, and it was actually much more challenging than I would expect it. And especially here at Breck Ridge is on the hill, so you either go uphill or downhill. There is no flats here, so I kind of started it gradual downhill, turn around, and then run gradual uphill. So I did 5K, 25-ish minutes, and it was rough. It was a similar feeling of like second half in the Ironman when you feel like it's probably better to quit right now and never do it again. That type of the feel.
All right. And day 2 tomorrow.
Yeah, cheers.